Welcome back to Kettlebells and Cocktails. I'm your host, John, back with my bestie, Nikki. Nikki, how are you?
I'm good. I'm in a great mood to see you
You are,
both
wow.
tonight.
That's
Yes.
leading with a great mood. I'm excited
Mm-hmm.
to hear. I'm excited
You're
to hear
welcome.
about this.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
It's Rob. Let's be
it is.
real.
Return guest Rob Kearney, world's strongest gay and world's strongest person that I know personally. How you doing, Rob?
I'll
Fact.
take that. I'm doing great. Life's really good right now. I'm in an off season right now for myself, which is a really nice spot to be considering all my
Ooh.
athletes are not in off season. So life's been good. Like I'm enjoying training, just having fun, and yeah, life's great.
Do you just look at your athletes who are like in the thick of training and prepping and just think like, ah, it
Oh,
sucks?
every every day I'm like, I am so happy. I am just like training when I want. Like I have a plan, but it's a very loose plan. I haven't lifted anything over like 60% in, well, gosh, since the Arnold in March. So what's
Are you
that, three,
kidding?
4 months? Yeah, it
Yeah.
is beautiful. My body feels good.
Wow.
I've lost like over 30 pounds since the Arnold. Yeah.
Holy.
So
Is
I
that
feel
allowed in
awesome.
strongman? You allowed to lose weight?
Off season, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was also really just I got really big for the Arnold.
I prefer
You
the
know,
term thick.
Thick.
there was a few C's on that. Yep.
Yup.
So it was that was honestly my focus really was to just try to drop a good amount of weight and just kind of focus on my fitness as opposed to, just being super strong. Plus I didn't want to be the stereotypical fat strength coach at the games in August.
Hmm.
So
That's interesting. I'm made of questions. I have lots of questions about how all of that works. Do you like build up a solid base of like overall general fitness and then you kind of like bulk and lift because the ass moves mass? Is that like kind of how it works?
yeah, pretty much. And that's kind of like my entire like philosophy around strength is like the best way to build strength is with a really strong base of like work capacity and volume.
Mm.
And that's what I kind of do into my own training. And like, so like right now, like I'm doing 2 to 3 skier workouts a week
Oof.
in my training. And then, I do zone two at least a couple times a week as well for about 45 to 60 minutes. So just really trying to prioritize like overall fitness as opposed to just the pure strength training that I do once I have my competitions lined up and I start prepping for those.
And then how do you bulk? Like, is it just like milkshakes and donuts all day? Like, what do
Please
you
tell me
do to
yes.
be like,
Please
I
say
need to
yes.
put on 30 pounds and get strong as fuck? Like, how does it happen?
So it's really funny. So like I have a nutrition coach and I shit you not, when I first got my nutrition plan from my coach, when we first started talking, he was like, what are like things that if you had, you'd be able to stick to this plan?
Mm,
And I was like, honestly, ice cream.
mm.
Like if I had some ice cream in my plan, I know I could stick to it.
Yeah. That's totally fair. I
Yeah.
get that.
The the first meal plan I get a pint of ice cream a night.
No, you don't. Stop it.
Can I get this
Come
guy's
over to
number? Jen, you're
Strongman,
fired.
people. Come
Man.
over to Strongman.
Oh my
Um,
God, I want that in my life. Do you know what I need to send you? I need to send you, I do marketing for this company called Socket, and they basically make like koozies for like all sorts of different cups. And
that's
they
amazing.
straight up make an ice cream pint koozie. I'm going to send them to you.
So it was
Need your
so funny
address.
because I tell Joey, like we got home from work that day. I was like, babe, like I got my nutrition plan from Nathan. He's like, oh, cool. Like you excited? I was like, yeah, I get to eat ice cream every night. And he goes, fuck off. No, you don't. I was like, no, look. Like I like showed him the meal plan. He was like, what kind of fucking nutrition plan is this? I was like, well, it's about to gonna be strong as hell. So I'm in.
You're like, watch me lift a car over my head. Thank you, Ben and Jerry's. What is your ice cream flavor of choice if you get to eat a whole pint at once?
Haagen Dazs,
Okay, clean
cho-
ingredients. I like it. I like it.
chocolate peanut butter.
Ooh, solid choice.
That's it. It's like always scratches that itch for me.
Do
You're
you
in New
have to
England.
buy them
You're
in
not.
bulk like a case at a
Yeah.
time?
Just like a Costco size, like
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You're not catching grief from the Vermont crew up there. You're not having Ben and Jerry's.
Well, I mean, I do like Ben and Jerry's, but there's something about Ben and Jerry's that just makes you feel fat after eating it.
Yeah, but if you eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs, you're totally cool because it's
That's
basically
exactly
just like
it, right?
it's just cocoa powder and milk and
No, that's a real thing with ice cream. I don't know why it is or what the ingredient is, but we have a local place called Mitchell's and it's awesome,
Ooh,
right?
I know Mitchell's. Yeah.
Yeah, but same thing. Like it gives you this feeling like your stomach's about to explode. Like it's weird. And there are other ice creams that don't do that to me at all. You eat the same amount, you feel fine. I get
I think it
Mitchell's and it's
honestly,
delicious, but kills me so
I think
bad.
it's just like all the ingredients of Ben and Jerry's. Like, don't
There's a
get
lot
me
of
wrong.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
love myself some half baked or fish food. Like I'm never gonna say no. But when you're adding in like the cookie dough and the brownies and the and all that stuff, it gets a little heavy.
Well, I'm jealous because I'm
I
like literally counting out rice kernels tonight, making my dinner. So
So
thank you
that's the
very much.
problem. So since I've been cutting weight, like I'm not eating a pint of ice cream right now. That's when I was like leading into the
Uh,
Arnold and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I'm eating 1,600 calories a day right now.
Oh,
Oh.
welcome to the lean side. How are
Yeah,
you
no
feeling,
shit.
friend?
That's how I've lost this 30 pounds over the past few months.
How are you not
Um,
grumpy as hell at 1,600 calories? Holy shit.
so the first few weeks were fucking terrible. That's just the only way
Yeah.
to put it.
Yes. Yeah.
Was like, because I've been with my nutrition coach for almost 3 years, and I texted him that like first or second day. I was like, "This is the weirdest thing because in 3 years, I haven't realized I've never been hungry because I've just always been eating." And now, with such
What a concept.
I know.
with the calories so restricted, I'm like, wow, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So the first few weeks were kind of rough, but honestly, like I've kind of gotten used to it, and it's just kind of my norm. Now I say I'm eating 1,600 calories, but I still get 1 or 2 cheat meals a week. So that kind of levels out that deficit a little bit, so I'm not in such a massive deficit and withering away to nothing. But so the the cheat meals definitely help. But yeah, 1,600 calories a day right now.
Dude, that's
Wow.
brutal. 1,600 is really low. That's like Survivor diet. Like you're getting a
I
bowl of
told
rice and some chicken.
I told Joey though, if I get a singular visible ab, I'm just burning all of my shirts.
I'm here for that. Hardcore.
I've never had one. I've never had a single visible ab. So I'm like, you know what? If this happens, who needs a wardrobe?
Absolutely.
Well, they're under there, and then you'll get addicted if you see them. Like you see these linemen, for the NFL, they get out of the NFL and they go lose a bunch of weight, and then they have
Yep.
abs, and then they stay that way because they get
Yeah.
addicted to it.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
still have a few years of competing left. So I think Chubby Rob is here to stay for a couple more years.
Thick Rob.
Thick Rob.
I don't know how you guys do it. I'm total shit in sticking to any sort of like nutrition plan or anything. We did that challenge at the gym last month and it went really well. And I was like, I'm going to like stick to this like 80% through the summer. So I can kind of like just feel good about how I look and my performance. My performance has been like really good in the gym, like close to pre-baby performance, which has been like
Hell
kind
yeah.
of a goal, like to get back to some numbers and some times I thought I could really push. And so that was good. But like Matt's in the kitchen, like still on RP, still weighing, measuring shit. And I'm like, fuck, that sucks. Sorry about that. Sorry about your life. I'm going to eat this cookie. And I just cannot, for the life of me, I'm like just struggling. So I commend you both because you'll both have visible abs. You both and Matt will all have visible abs before I ever have one.
Hey, look, you gotta look good for the games. Games are coming up. They're coming up.
I know.
It is crazy to think that they're already all like what 7 weeks away.
Oh my
7.5
God.
weeks.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yikes. We just got through semis.
Right?
The
And
season
dude,
is
you have
short.
a bunch of athletes that qualified. Congratulations.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Thank you.
How many did you
Thank
have total when it was all said and done?
Is it 7?
Damn.
Just in the
That's-
open. And then we also have some age group and adaptive athletes that are going as well.
Man.
Yeah, so we have, Jayson, Katrin, Amanda, Sam Quant. Then we have Jake Douglas, who's over in Australia. And then we have Cole Griesaber and Christine Kohlenbrander. So 8. Yeah.
Rob, was semis for you just like constant stress, just 3 weeks of fucking stress? Because I watch coaches and I'm friends with a lot of coaches and I do interviews with a lot of coaches, and it's like they're all your children. And I can just see it, like they're shaking and they haven't slept in weeks and they're just like panicking on the sidelines. Like, what is that
It's
like?
it's so funny that you use like saying that there are children. So like Amy Everett, our Olympic lifting coach, whenever we talk about our athletes, we always say the kids. We always like, they're like, oh, how are your kids doing today? Like that's how we refer to our athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's weird. Like this is my first full year coaching in CrossFit. Like last year I had a few months leading into the games working with Mal and getting her ready, and like at the games watching her on that yoke walk, front squat, deadlift, yoke walk, event. That was the most stressed I've been in a long time, because it
Right.
was like, okay, we've done a lot of all these things. This year, I was a little bit more reserved because I had so much time with all of these athletes to where like I felt confident in the work that we put in, the work that they did. And now it was just time for like them to show it out on the floor and prove their fitness and their strength has increased. And honestly, like it was more like there was some nerves for some events, but like watching Katrin do event number 1 and just manhandling that sled is something she could have never done a year ago. And she's really the one that I've worked with the longest. Her and I have pretty much worked with each other since August of last year. And, to really see everything come together so perfectly for her. And then, obviously go from not making the games last year to taking second place in her semi this year. It was just so exciting. And then watching Amanda's fitness get so much better, and Jayson, just it was more excitement for me than it was nerves. I think it was also because we kind of knew what to expect. Like we had our people that we expected to do well, and they all did. And now these next 7 weeks are when it's really going to come together.
I thought Katrin seemed more confident to me than I've seen her before. And she's always had that kind of killer instinct, like she's obviously a terrific competitor, but she seemed far more confident going into semis than I've seen her. And throughout the competition continued to gain confidence, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it was great. Her whole thing as she was, leading into semis was like she wanted to regain that love for competition again. And we started seeing that through the open and then quarters. And then I think, once she got to Pasadena and she got back in that arena, she kind of knew she could be herself again.
Yeah.
And she came out hot, and fortunately was able to, like, over the past year she's grown so much, and she's learned so much, but she still has that Katrin essence about her. So she brings all that experience and that passion for competing. And I think that's what ultimately led to her having such a successful weekend.
For sure. I think too, like I've been listening a lot to her podcast with Annie, and I feel like she's so open right now about, I don't know, just like the mental aspect of training and competing, and also kind of just like these wonderful, intimate details about her life and her mentality. And it's like, I don't know, she feels so comfortable in her own skin and able to attack all sorts of different things mentally, physically, that are put in front of her right now. Just, I don't know, all in all, not sponsored, but plugging their podcast for sure. If you haven't listened to it, especially if you're a woman in CrossFit and you haven't listened to it, it is worth going over there and hearing them out, because the things they talk about and the way they express themselves is just, it feels so strong in the
Yeah.
space right now. And I feel like I could hear it in her voice in the episodes leading up to this competition season, where I was like, oh, she is in such a solid place. It made me really excited to watch her over the weekend.
I thought watching most of the hard work, or if not all the hard work, pays off athletes. I think of Jayson Hopper, for instance, when he hit the big snatch during the snatch event.
Hell yeah.
When he stepped up to the bar, I turned to someone and I'm like, watch this. Because I've been watching kind of the online training with Amy, who we had on the show not that long ago. and I know her skill level, and like he stepped up so confident. It was quick too. It was like he only had a few seconds, and he was
Yep.
so confident. You could tell he wasn't going to miss. Like he was just like, this is routine. How do you guys build that confidence in your athletes? Is it just the repetition of what you're doing day in and day out, or is there like a kind of a dedicated mindset plan that you guys have for these athletes?
I think that's one of the great things that that kind of sets us apart from other camps, really, is having such specialized coaches throughout our entire team. And with the kids being able to lean on myself for like more of those power lifts, and then being able to lean on Amy for the Olympic lifts, and then obviously having Matt and Jake be our CrossFit coaches. It's I think them being able to hear from multiple people around them that they're doing everything right and they're following a program that's put forth by some of the best coaches in the space, it's helping build that confidence in all of our athletes, every single time they're in the gym, right? Because here they are training 6 days a week, and they're hearing multiple perspectives from multiple people, but it's all really saying the same thing, and we're all really building them up to have that confidence. And it really does go to like the training that we put them through is is not easy. Like obviously to get to this level, it has to be hard. But when you have the aspects of the CrossFit program that we put together come together so synergistically, I think it really just does produce what we saw throughout the entire semis weekends.
Are you excited to get to the games when you know they're going to get strongman events?
Yeah, that's honestly, that's been the hardest part about putting their training together right now for the next few weeks, is like, all right, like we're probably going to see a yoke, we're probably going to see some version of a sandbag. In what iteration of it we don't really know. So it's okay, like we need to be heavy, but we also need to be we need to be light enough where they can still move it for some distance. And playing with all those factors on top of everything else we have to be working on over the next 7 weeks is the analogy I like to use is like it's a really big puzzle with tiny puzzle pieces, and the final picture is white. That's really what it looks like right now.
Totally. And
So,
you also like there's stuff you can't prepare for, because there's going to be some brand new rogue implement that no one has ever
Right.
seen before, that they made just for the 2023 games, that is like could be a CrossFit thing, could be a strongman thing, could be something randomly in the middle, like there's going to be
yeah.
something you just can't prep for.
Yeah, so we've been throwing a lot of strongman stuff into it, and it's going to be great that obviously I will be there in Madison. So once one of those things comes up, they have me to lean on to really kind of get that last minute tutorial into what is the best way to approach that implement.
What I would love to see? Oh, what were you going to say? Were you
Oh,
going to say what you would love to see?
yes, I was.
Oh, same brain.
All right.
Okay, you go first.
All right. I want to see the log. That's my favorite.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
Cool.
Matter of fact, I watched Rob do that at the Arnold, and it was awesome. And you killed that event, I might add.
Thank you.
Crushed it. I mean, it's a scary event when you watch it live. It's scarier live than on TV, because when you see it live, you're like, holy shit, this thing could absolutely crush them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think that when it's a strongman competitor where these guys are huge, imagine what it's like when it's Emma Carey.
Totally, for sure.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
Or someone, just anyone on the small show, even a Jayson Hopper who's big, it'll be scary to watch him do that. I hope we get one this year. The sandbag was fun last year, but the log is really exciting. Real fun to see. What was yours? What did you want to see, Nikki?
I was just going to say about the log, like that was the crazy thing about the Rogue Invitational is when that got announced a couple of weeks before it, none of us were expecting a 1-rep max. Right. In my mind as a strength coach, they're first implementing this strongman implement. I was thinking log brace. I was thinking a log ladder with, maybe a lighter log to a heavier log. I never in a million years would have thought a 1-rep max.
Yeah, they're not afraid to kill people.
Is cool though.
Yeah. It would be cool.
I was gonna say stones. I would love to see stones, because I think there are a million ways you can skin that cat, right? They could be heavy, they could go places, over places, under places, you could move with them, whatever. And I think that they bridge a really nice gap between CrossFit and Strongman. And I think that but you need to know how the hell to handle them.
So the fun that you say that, that's funny. You know, Matt actually talked about like in his gym bag when he was competing, he would actually keep a thing of strongman tacky in his
Mm-hmm.
bag. Now tacky is what we use for Atlas stones, right? It like sticks to our hands and our arms so we can get a better grip on the stone. And he was like, because he always had that in the back of his mind. Well, they might throw stones at us. So I want to be ready with this stuff because it's going to make it easier. So stones would be great, you know, especially imagine if they just throw like a traditional stone series in
Right?
for these CrossFit athletes. You know, I mean, and that's a cool thing about when we see there's so much similarities between the two sports.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's most fun about us being at the Rogue Invitational now is, you know, to see the excitement that CrossFit fans get for strongman events. And I could think of nothing crazier like Saturday night in the Coliseum, they have a stone run where it's a
Yes.
last, you know, like a last man standing event. You have head to
Mhm.
head, and then like, you know, losers slowly whittle away until you have a final two. I mean, there's so many really cool ways you could do that with that setup.
Well, you guys heard it here first. I'm basically as smart about this stuff as Mat
Yeah,
Fraser.
yeah,
There you
Yeah.
go. We already knew that, Nikki. We already knew it.
Hey, listen, I feel like sometimes people don't know that they see me at the sidelines at these games or the events or whatever, and they're like, oh, this chick, she's like kind of pretty and she obviously knows how to talk into a microphone. I don't think everybody realizes that I have been coaching CrossFit for 12 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like,
Do it on a
not a
regular
joke. This is
basis.
my
Like,
life. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. I was leading all of that into Rob. The last time that we talked to you, you had just started with HWPO. Like, I don't even know if you had like just signed your contract. I didn't even know if you had like really stepped in and started meeting people or doing anything yet. And you seem like you are so settled, like you just comfortable, like this is your family now, like just kind of overall competition aside and qualifications aside, like how is this path going for you?
it's so fucking cool. You know,
Yeah.
because I look at it as like coming into this role, I've been a fan of CrossFit since 2009, you know, when I first stepped into my first CrossFit gym. And obviously like knowing who Matt is and knowing all this stuff and now to like be waking up every day and like he's my boss and I get to coach literally the fittest athletes on the planet. It's so fucking cool. And you know, you talk about it's crazy because like, you know, I know like Matt and Sammy and the whole HWPO crew, like we always say, like, you know, like it's like we're really just one big family. And like that honestly is how it is, you know, like Joey and I just went out like last month to Amy's house for a few days just to as a little getaway and just to go hang out. And you know, there's not many like work friends you'd fly across the country for. And
Right.
it's you know, it's really nice to like have these relationships and like just the way we support each other and it's really such an integrative team to where we're all working towards the same goal and none of us want to see any of us fail, so we
Right.
try to do whatever we can to make sure everybody's succeeding and doing the best job possible. And it's so much fun every single day. And you know, like there are some days that are chaotic and it feels like nothing can go right and the athletes are having a horrible training day and our you know our membership customer service platforms like blowing up with 85
Yeah.
million questions and form checks and you know, but then like I still have to have that moment where like it could be so much worse.
Mm.
Like
It's
this
pretty
is
cool that you get
pretty
to do
fucking
this.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
love that.
yeah, you know, like right now, Sam Quant's texting me probably questions about the accessories I gave him tonight for his
Fair.
tricep, right? So it's just like stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it seems like a burden at times, but it's also like it's unbelievable. Like being a fan of the sport for so long and then, you know, also being a professional athlete myself and getting to work in this space, it's just it's so freaking cool.
I think it's rad too, just the concept of having a full-time job within this space outside of being an athlete, because of course being an athlete is a full-time job, but not as easily sustainable when it comes to like, you know, just paychecks and putting food on your table. And so finding a way to merge your passions and make that a part of your everyday life, I feel like is just few and far between in any of our niche sports, truly.
Yeah, and just I think the way that HWPO went about it in terms of like really basing this company off of all of our members that follow our training on a day-to-day basis. Like, yes, it's amazing the elites that we have going to the games, and we want to support them and make sure that we're doing everything we can to make them better athletes. But the backbone of our company is really about the thousands and thousands and thousands of members that we have on the training app that are going through our training on a day-to-day basis and interacting with our community on Circle and really just like having us to coach them as well as our elites. I think that's really why this company is so successful.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept. Like, and it makes you as the expert and as the famous athlete, like so accessible, which is super unique, I think. And like, I remember when we first had Matt on when he was like first really launching HWPO, and I said something really stupid to him where I was like, but you're not actually like getting on Zoom with these people every week, right? Like, it's not literally you fucking doing that. And he was like, yeah. Yeah, he was like, they paid for that. Like, they signed up with me to talk to me about the program, for me to check them for whatever. Like, yeah, of course I'm doing that. Like, I'm an idiot. And I was like, oh, got it. Okay. So cool. I'm here for it. It's just rad. You guys are so accessible like that.
They roll deep, and now they've got an affiliate. Got the Harvard baseball headquarters, and it's cool, man. A lot of big things. We actually didn't bring you on to talk about Harvard Pays Off.
I know, not at all, actually.
Nikki got on a couple minutes late. Joey's up with grandma tonight, or he would be with us. He couldn't make it, so got called away to grandma. So he's being a good grandson and doing the thing. So I'm sad though, because I've never met Joey. I wanted to meet him.
I know. I was excited to meet him too.
You will. He's coming to the games in August.
Yeah.
So he's going to be there. So you'll get the full Joey experience.
I'm dying to know what that is now. What is the full experience?
Cliffhanger till August, John.
Yeah, no shit.
It sounds sexual. I'm just saying that out loud, and I'm here for
it. It's sassy.
Yeah,
sassy. I can handle sass. I'm good with the sass.
It's sass and twerking. That's pretty much the.
Are we talking about me or are we talking about Jeff?
Could be either.
So you're best friends now. That's all it takes.
Perfect. Yeah. Just to let him know that we're already besties. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it was with him and Katrin. That's what he told Katrin before they actually met in person. So it works.
Perfect.
How long have you guys been married now?
So we just celebrated 4 years married this past March.
Holy.
September 6th of this year will be 9 years together.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
9 years. Most people get that 10-year itch. You got one more year before you got to get the itch.
Oh, is that
but I feel like after 10 years, like you're just in it,
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's right about that. That's the thing. Like the numbers around 10 years, people get the 10-year itch. They go one way or the other, But once you're past 10 years, you're usually in it. Usually.
10 years married or 10 years together? Because I personally find it super annoying that your anniversary resets when you get married.
Do you?
So just do what the gays do. Celebrate both.
I do. I totally do.
Yeah.
So is the itch at the 10-year married mark or the 10-year together mark?
I would say together.
I would say together.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. So I'm way past that. We'll celebrate my 9-year wedding anniversary next month.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that's 13 years together in the fall. I'm old as fuck. Actually, I was also a child bride, so really Matt's old as fuck. Yeah. That's what that means. Yeah.
Bean and I are about to celebrate 5 years together. We're very happy.
What?
We're very excited.
Nice.
We're very excited.
If you had a party, I would attend.
I'll put a little hat on him, send you a photo. It's going to be great.
Please do. I think that's an excellent celebratory moment.
Well, we were originally going to have Rob and Joey on because we wanted to talk about the relationship for Pride Month. We thought it'd be really kind of a cool thing. And so we've never really had that conversation. So I'm a little bummed. I'm not going to get it. So I'm going to get it in person. When we're in Madison, you guys can give me the whole saga, but you can make up whatever you want. He's not on the air, so
you can say whatever you want
about
talk
him.
Shit if you feel like it.
Yeah.
Loud.
It'd be totally fine.
That's low hanging fruit. No,
That's true.
he's fucking awesome. So when him and I met, I was actually still closeted. I wasn't even out yet.
Oh, no shit. How did you
Yeah,
meet then? Sorry, pause right there.
the most romantic way possible. Grinder.
Grinder, amazing.
Perfect.
Glorious. I'm here for that. Good for
So
you.
I
You were
was,
like, I don't want anyone to know except the people who might be able to just, get that shit
oh
done.
yeah, I was totally the shirtless, headless torso on Grinder.
And
Like
he was like, I want that one.
he was like, interesting. So
Swipe.
so that's how we met. And so yeah, I was still closeted. I was 22 years old, like really trying to figure out who the hell I was and what me kind of having this realization and starting this acceptance journey. And he was with me the entire way. And um so we met in August of 2014. We officially started dating September 6th. And then on October 20th of that year is this was 2014, is when I was driving home from work one day and just kind of had this like overwhelming urge of like, you know what, like we've been together for 6 7 weeks now. We're dating, and I don't feel like this is fair for this guy who's 22, who's been out since he's 17, to be dating somebody who's now closeted. Like I just felt like there was just a lot of like backhanded hiding that had to be done, and I just wasn't comfortable with that anymore. And so like I told my family, told my friends, was fortunate to have really great, a lot of acceptance. And then October 20th of that year is when I officially came out. And you want a way to put a relationship under a lot of pressure really quickly. Do that and find out you're the only openly gay professional strongman in the world now. Because pretty much after that, we started getting like interview requests from like TMZ and
No
BuzzFeed and like,
shit.
oh yeah, it was wild. I was like, well, you're stuck with me now. So
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't think I realized that you guys had not been together all that long when you were like, you know what? But that must
yeah.
have meant that you felt something in addition to like obviously wanting to be fair to your new partner. Like you felt something serious enough or strong enough in your connection to be like, you know what? This is the time.
Yeah, like he helped me on like my entire journey of figuring out who I was as a gay man and like accepting myself for a gay man for the first time. And to have somebody there that like lets you do it at your own pace and is completely supportive of the decisions you make, but also pushing you in the right direction to like living your authentic life. It was just like, it was like you said, Nick, it was like that kind of like that connection that I just felt like I don't know how much deeper you can get than this.
Yeah.
And then, the cool thing is like he's literally been with me my entire professional strongman career. When we met, I was just getting ready I was actually cutting weight on our first date because I was competing at America's Strongest Man as a lightweight competitor, which in strongman is 231 pounds and under. So he has known me since my first pro contest throughout my entire career, going from a lightweight competitor all the way to, competing at the world's strongest man. So, he's just like, he's such an amazing, supportive husband who has like always pushed me to really like, and it sounds cliche and corny, but like literally like follow my dreams and what I want to do in life. When I told him I wanted to quit my full-time job at a prep school to just be an athlete full-time, he was like, all right, we'll figure it out. You got this. And like he's always been that person to like give me that supporting, shoulder to lean on and give me the confidence to go after it.
And isn't that the basis, like the super solid foundation of a relationship in every single capacity? Like, I can't think of a more extreme or important capacity than helping you as you kind of like define your own sexuality and what that means to yourself and also to your place in the world. But isn't that also the exact same foundation to like you said, your career or anything, any small, tiny little, the fucking cutting your hair, getting bangs, whatever it
Yep.
may be, like having a partner who is like allows you to figure out your thing at your pace and is only supportive of that, sort of like regardless of the situation. Like, I think that might be the key to a successful relationship, regardless of how big or small the issue may be.
For sure. And he's also a dumb bitch that does stupid shit that makes me laugh all the time. So, you really get
that's
really
icing
get
on the
both
cake
sides
at that
of it.
point.
It really is.
Glorious.
Hey, Rob, you mentioned he helped you through your journey of acceptance. Can you explain what that means to you?
You know, I lived 22 years of my life as a quote unquote straight man. I lived very heteronormative lifestyle. I had girlfriends, and it was such a strange time in my life because it's so weird when I didn't realize I was doing this until I had come out. And I had this realization that I was never truly able to be myself. Right? Because as you're hiding who you truly are, you have to like consciously think about how to speak to people, how you're going to react in your friend groups, and how you're going to hold yourself, how you're going to, how you're going to converse. And I never understood and realized how exhausting that can be. And when I finally kind of had this kind of awakening, this moment where I was, was confident enough to look in the mirror and say, I am gay. It was one of those things where it's like, you have to come out to yourself. And that's the biggest first step. And then you have to constantly come out. It's something I didn't think I realized, and something Joey helped me out on. It's like, I came out to my family and friends, and they know, and then I came out publicly on social media. But when I am meeting somebody for the first time, I'm very confident and, in my relationship and as a gay man, and I'm never afraid, but there's always some level of anxiety in my mind when I have to mention, oh, I have a husband, because I always have to think of how is that person going to react to me saying that. Luckily, with my physical stature, it's usually never negative.
Right.
Someone would have to be truly stupid, but anyway.
But it still sucks that I have to get to that point,
Yeah.
And I think every single gay man is at that point in their life where I am one of the strongest men in the world, and I'm married to an amazing man, and our relationship could not be stronger. But I still have that moment of pause, and I think that's something I never realized was going to be happening for the rest of my life. And I think when I started to first come out, and Joey was helping me accept myself and kind of deal with life and, understanding, I'm no longer going to have that quote unquote American dream white picket fence life with a wife and kids and yada yada. My life is just going to look very different from that. There was just a lot of things where I was having these realizations, and Joey was just always that reassurance. And I think that having that person was just really important for me being able to get the confidence that I have now in myself as a gay man.
That's really interesting to me. I've never really considered how difficult it would be to have to constantly come out again and again and again and again to people you don't know, and in thinking back, even at the beginning of your story there of having to keep it to yourself all those years, tell me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds a lot like when you tell a lie and then you have to compound that lie and compound it, compound it.
You got to remember the first lie to make sure that you're still telling the same lie. Yeah.
Yeah. And then God forbid
how hard it is to keep track of what girls you think are attractive when you don't think any of them are attractive.
It's like that. Have you ever seen the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Yeah.
Where he's telling him he's had sex. He's like, oh, I've touched a lot of breasts. They feel like sand. That's what he kept telling him. They feel just like sand. That must be what it's like.
It really, it's so confusing and difficult. But luckily, I guess I didn't fuck it up too much. Although I probably did fuck it up because the overwhelming reaction from my close friends when I told them that I was gay, they were like, yep, kind of saw that coming.
What gave it away? Why? What was it?
I don't know. It could have been the cheerleading from 7th grade. It could have been the person. I don't know. The obsession over ABBA and the Backstreet Boys. I mean, there's
Well,
a
that
lot
just
of
makes you
tells to it.
sane, just
True.
for the record.
True. I will say I do love like telling my coming out story to my mom, because so like I wasn't too worried about telling my mom because my mom has a gay sister. So it's like nobody gives two shits in my family. But obviously still like coming out is terrifying to your family. So I went to my mom's house and I sit down. I was like, Mom, like I have to talk to you. Like I have something to say. And she was like, oh fuck, who's pregnant?
Oh,
I was like,
not that.
Actually, quite the opposite. I like men. She's like, oh, thank God. Like,
I love it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was great, you know. And I will say, like, I feel bad stealing Joey's thunder, but like his coming out story is one of my favorites as well. So, like, he actually came out to his mom in the middle of an argument. They were like yelling at each other, and he goes, his mom was yelling at him for something, and he goes, "Is it because I'm gay?" And she's like, "No, but I've known that." And he was like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" Like, and I think it's just like, it's fun for me to be able to have those memories of our coming out, because it's just like it brings light to such a stressful situation.
It's just insane to me that this is like that this stressful situation will be so pervasive throughout your entire life. Like, it's insane to me that we care so much about what people are doing with their dicks.
I care
For
what I'm
real.
doing with mine, Nikki, for whatever that's worth.
But I don't care what you do with yours. Like, that's just
That's a good
like
point.
I just
We keep losing Nikki. She got this shitty connection in BFE that she lives in. It is an interesting thing to me, but I understand. Nikki and I probably are a little different on this. I think I understand how difficult it is, and it will continue to be. I don't think we'll ever get past this. I think parents, most loving parents, like if one of my kids came out, I'd be like, okay, what's next? Go clean your room. Like, your room's not clean. That's what I care about. Like, go do something with your life. Go to college, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, most parents that are loving are that way. But I do think society at large has been in such quote unquote traditional roles for so long, you know, both, you know, culturally and TV shows and whatever, that it's just part of the fabric of our society. And it's going to be hard for that. It's going to take a long time for that to change. Probably 2 generations, if I had to put a number on it. Like, it'll take a while before,
you're right.
You know, before it isn't such a thing, you know.
You're right. But I will also say that the sneaking around and being like gay in the darkness has also been pervasive in our culture for millennia. True. So like it ain't new.
That's true.
It ain't new. But I also like take this with a grain of salt because I live in like a very insular, like East Coast. Like, this is, you know, I grew up in Boston. Like, this is my life and my mentality forever. So like, no shade people who are like slowly turning the corner. Join us on the side of acceptance.
You
it's
know,
a lovely place to be.
That's like one of my favorite things, right? Is like when people say, you know, like, and it was one of the most, I actually think I still have the screenshot from 2014. I want to see if I can pull it up because I do. It's literally the first photo in my phone. So when I came out, there's a strongman competitor who I'd competed with for 5 or 6 years. He's a New England guy, and like, so I saw him at virtually every single show, and he goes, "Thank you, Rob. I just opened up Facebook for the first time in over a week and saw your status. I've been quote unquote anti-gay my entire adult life. I looked at you and thought, if my friend who I admire and respect is gay, then I should admire and respect all types and kinds. I'm 37 years old. Thank you for opening my eyes and my mind. Good luck."
I love that.
You know, like, that's the shit that is so cool. Like, being able to have a 37-year-old man, like, be able to change his entire way of thinking around a certain situation, just by somebody who he has known for so long, be able to say, you know, I'm gay, in you know, kind of take it or leave it. That's really what is so cool about what I do now, and being so confident in myself and my relationship. And, that's why it is such a big part of who I am on social media, because I want to help start those conversations and help change people's minds and be like, you know what, like, yeah, like you might have been told one way, but like, look at me, I'm one of the strongest motherfuckers in the world, and I'm also gay. Like, it's really cool what people can see when you actually open your eyes and you don't just have the blinders on all the time.
Nikki's distracted me coming in and out of the feed here, Rob. Like she's got
My
all kind of problems.
internet,
I'm with
internet
you.
is all fucked.
You need to get your friend to go into the morning chalk up comment section today, because all those people are pissing me off. But I'm glad to know someone out there can change.
What did the morning chalk up post today?
Oh, they posted a thing today. The thing today was interesting. It was a little funny. Reebok just released a line of genderless.
Oh,
apparel.
I did see that. Yeah, okay. I saw them post that. I didn't read the comments, though.
They had like 700 comments in 2 hours. Like,
hey,
it's everything you would expect.
It's great for their engagement. Good for them.
Hey, look, it's funny you say that. Joe, the managing editor, I commented something under, he did a big paragraph like berating everyone for all their hateful comments, and I appreciate him doing that. But I just went under his comment and I'm like, Joe, you know better, bro. Like, you knew this was coming. And so he texted me and I'm like, listen, Joe, here's what you need to do. You need to, if you want to stop the hateful comments, here's what you have to explain to them. Here's how social media works. Engagement happens when you comment on someone else's comment, and the algorithm goes, hey, I'm going to now push this out to all of that person's friends. So every time you go in and make a hateful comment, it pushes it to all your friends, which is probably what you think you want. But here's the problem. Everybody has one friend, at least one. Some of you have more than one, but everybody has at least one friend that's a total crank, right? Just a total idiot, dumbass, shouts at the moon, chases cars, listens to everything they can, gets all riled up on the internet on both sides of the aisle, by the way, liberal and conservative.
I do that on the liberal side of things.
Yeah, it's not exclusive to one. Yeah, it's not exclusive to one demographic here. And they'll go in the comments and they'll rail, right? Well, then the algorithm sends it to their friends. Their friends are reasonable people. And their friends will look at it and go, man, Joe Bob's going off again. What a dumbass. And they still love their friend because they're probably a nice guy or woman or whoever, but then they'll go follow and they'll engage. Right. And so now this post you hated that you were trying to shout down, now all of a sudden is the most popular thing out there. I built an entire social media presence on this theory. Trust me, it works. Piss off 10% of your audience to get the rational people. That's the way it works.
But I guess just fundamentally, I'm like so bummed that even became one of the big hateful spin-off posts, because it's like, what the fuck do I care what clothing line is available? If I don't like it, I won't buy it. Just
it's a strange concept.
There could be like a lot of other really important topics that people debate left and right, and like a genderless clothing line seems like cool. Buy it or don't. They also make pink shirts and red shirts and blue shirts and yellow shirts. Buy them or don't. Nah.
You know what I thought? First thing I thought, I looked at it and I'm like, heels from Reebok, I've had their lifters. They're trash. Like, why would I do that? Like,
I have a pair of Reebok heels that I love. They don't make them anymore. There was a line they did with Alicia Keys about 1 million years ago, and they are called, what the fuck are they called? It's killing me. I have a pair. They're awesome. Love them. Highly recommend for everyone.
I don't know. It just didn't feel like the battle anybody needed to be fighting. Genderless clothing, like they've been selling unisex shirts for years. Like,
exactly.
I don't know. I didn't get it. It was very bizarre. So get your friend to go into that comment section for me, Rob. It'd make me very happy.
I got you.
Do you guys do anything special for Pride Month? Is this a thing?
So it depends. Like in the past, like we have gone over to the UK and gone to Manchester Pride before.
Cool.
This year we stayed local. So our local Pride here in Northampton, Massachusetts, they have one of the first Pride celebrations of the year in the US. And we're fortunate that one of our closest friends, she runs the entire thing. So we did that. That was the first weekend in May this year. So we kind of kicked off our Pride season there. The rest of this month, we're actually staying pretty low key. Joey just started a new job, so he's kind of like diving full in on that. And then we just have some like family trips planned. Nikki will actually be down in your neck of the woods visiting my
Stop it.
family because my sister lives in Westerly, so we'll be down there visiting.
Oh my God, you have to tell me when you're in town. Not that you're like not very close to me always
Already, yeah.
already, but you will have to tell me when you're in town because it would love to see you guys for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Sorry,
was
John, did I miss out?
I have to say I meant to send O'Keefe a message. I love the video you made for Hard Work Pays Off, supporting the Out Foundation, first and foremost, and really impressed at how supportive Hard Work Pays Off was. Like, you guys are kind of a low key company. I'm sure you know that. You know, you're like a no drama, like, and that's always been O'Keefe and Matt's thing. Like, they're never really in the comment section blowing people up and doing dumb shit, you know, except maybe that one time Matt went on Rogan, but otherwise nothing, you know. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, man, good for them. Like, you know, and so I guess the question and all that, like, you know, I think you even mentioned in the post, like, how much pride do you have in your employer for that kind of support? Like, it seemed really amazing to me.
Yeah, you know, it's really great. So, like, first off, like, kudos to HWPO to kind of look at what we're doing and say, you know what, every single month we're going to align ourselves with a different charity and donate money and help fundraise for them. And then on top of that, they wanted suggestions from their employees on what charities we should reach out and support. So obviously, with June being Pride, I was like, listen, you know, we need to do something for Pride. And, you know, it was kind of like, do we do the Trevor Project or something else? And I've kind of worked with the Out Foundation on and off for years. And I was like, you know what? Like, they're pretty heavy in the CrossFit space.
Yeah.
I think this is a really cool moment for HWPO to kind of make their stand on where we stand on DEI issues. And it was met with nothing but yeses, you know, from O'Keefe and Matt and Sammy and, you know, all and Harry, you know, all of them were like, yeah, this is, you know, obviously something that means a lot to me as an athlete named the world's strongest gay. You know, activism and is a real big part of what I do as an athlete. So for them to just jump on board so willingly and, you know, kind of put their full weight behind it this entire month, it's really just so special because it's just also reaffirming to me that I never have to change who I am just to be happy with where I work, you know, and I can always fully just be myself whenever I'm with them, and never have to have that fear of thinking like, oh, well, how are they going to think about this if I do this? And, you know, what are they going to think about these decisions? You know, I mean, they were some of the first people I told I was going to color my beard as a rainbow, and they were like, hell yeah, do it.
Bring it on.
So it's really special to be working with people that, as I said before, they just genuinely want to see you happy and help support the things you feel that are important.
O'Keefe is coloring his beard as a snowman, by the way, if you haven't seen him lately.
Yeah,
he's really white. You guys are stressing him out.
You guys.
He really makes fun of himself for it too, though.
Yeah, no, I just saw him put something in his story about that. I'm like, bro, I feel you because mine's white as hell right now.
Rob, something you said in there really struck me in that, like, you don't have to hide who you are for your employer. And it breaks my heart to think of how many people do have to do that, right? Not only are they maybe not totally secure with themselves and what they're going through in their life and how to present that to their friends and family, but all these other scenarios, like a professional scenario or whatever. Do you think about the impact that you're making being so openly out and loud and proud, even with your friggin' Instagram handle? Like, there are people who are going to see what you're doing, who are going through it themselves, but are still in the shadows or still in the closet. And that could be the inspiration they need to be like, oh shit, I can do that too.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. I never thought I would be that person for other people. And you know, just fortunately what I've been able to experience in my journey as an athlete and just a person, it's just something that I'm really passionate about to help people on their journey as well. And you know, we talk about like not having to hide yourself at work, and like, you know, I'm really fortunate, but you know, part of what I do on social media is like I try to educate people on the state of what it's like to be an LGBTQ plus person in the US right now. And a lot of people don't realize that in over 20 states in the US, it's still completely legal to be fired for your sexual orientation. Right. So
What?
that is, you can, yeah, it's not, we're not a protected class under some state governments. So yeah, in over 20 states, if you're gay, you could be fired, you could be denied housing, you could be denied medical care, just for being gay. And I think like that's something that a lot of people don't realize. So the fact that I'm privileged enough to be to work for a company that not only supports me to be who I am, also so to support my philanthropic missions and what I want to do as an athlete is I'm really fortunate, and I really do say it is completely a privilege that I get to do this for work with these people every day.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question. I think you may have just answered it, but when you did that post for the Out Foundation, and I've known Will forever, who was the founder of originally Outwad, and they do great work. I've been, done fundraising for them for years. And one thing I kept seeing that came up in the comment section and has come up in many comment sections during Pride is kind of challenging the Out Foundation around why do you have to find safe spaces is the word that Out Foundation uses. They're raising money to help this community find safe spaces for fitness. That's their mission. But I think that's the thing that people aren't educated on is like, why is there a need for safe spaces? Everyone views this community, as, hey, you come to my gym, you're safe. So what would make it unsafe, or like, what are what's kind of the underlying mission here of finding that?
So I think the biggest thing is like it stems from a lot of insecurities of LGBTQ plus people, because from the outside looking in, virtually any fitness space is extremely intimidating, especially as someone who doesn't know how to exercise or work out properly. Think of your first time in the gym, right? Like you go into a gym, you don't know anybody, you don't know how to do these exercises. So if you're not at a CrossFit gym, if you're just at a regular gym, you're probably following a program that you saw online, that maybe you have some pictures of how to do those exercises, but now you might have to ask somebody to spot you or ask somebody to show you how to do an exercise. And that in and of itself is terrifying. Now we have to add on to the layer, what if I am gay? Is the guy going to think I'm hitting on him? Is he going to not want to help me because of who I am? And, a lot of people, here's the thing is like, a lot of times, yes, it's true. Like you can't see sexuality, but we all know there are certain traits that gay men and gay lesbian women and trans people have that sometimes you can tell by looking at somebody or speaking to somebody. And having those anxieties, they just get amplified as an LGBTQ plus person when you're in a new space, trying to do something that's better for yourself, to get fit and get stronger. But that will stop a lot of people from ever entering a gym, is having those fears and, kind of, unfortunately, like giving into the perceived stereotypes of other people. What the Out Foundation is doing and why it's so important is because they're aligning themselves with a bunch of gyms, and just also helping educate on what it means to have an inclusive fitness space, right? And that is educating your coaches, educating your members on the reason we're all here is to become better, fitter versions of ourselves, right? Like we're all here for the same exact goal. So your gender, your sexual orientation, none of that matters because we're all here to be better humans. And that's really the message that the Out Foundation is trying to put out. And it really does align with the ethos of HWPO. And that's why I thought like the partnership of the two companies for this month just makes so much sense. And to see people question, why stuff like that is needed, I always take a positive spin on it. And it is blissful ignorance on their part, right? And I'm not using ignorance as a demeaning term in that statement. It is, they've never been, they've never seen an example like I just talked about, or they've never been in a situation where they might have thought that might give somebody anxiety, right? Maybe they're an outgoing person, so they don't mind meeting new people. Maybe their first introduction into a gym was with a family member or a close friend, so they had that person automatically to lean on to look for support and help them through their first workout. But as an individual LGBTQ person, you're probably not as fortunate to have that next to you and by your side. So with the Out Foundation being able to promote and create these inclusive spaces, they're really just trying to kind of open up their arms to the LGBTQ plus folks to say, hey, listen, like if you have a fitness journey you want to go on, this is where you can go to feel safe in who you are.
And it doesn't feel like they're and I haven't, followed them crazy close over the last few months, but one thing I keep reading is, this huge debate that we're seeing online and in the news around transgender athletes competing. And I don't get the sense that Out Foundation really cares about the competition side of CrossFit at all. Am I wrong in that or right?
No, they're more about opening up fitness inclusivity and equity to all members of every community, right? Like obviously they are, they want equality in the sport as well.
Sure.
But their real grassroots effort is just about getting as many bodies into the fitness space as they can, and to support them through, whether it's inclusive gym finders and setting up, different educational pieces, all the way up to a scholarship program that they do where they pay for gym membership fees of LGBTQ plus people, to give them that extra motivation to be able to get into the gym every single day.
Yeah, I was explaining to someone, I talked to Will about this at great lengths at some point, and we talked about it with you at the beginning where you're having to kind of lie to yourself or others for years before you come out. So imagine if you're a young teen and you can't come out, and that's a very depressive state. Fitness can help take you out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fitness is such a mood lifter and confidence builder, and gives you skills that translates so many different ways that will then in turn help those kids come out, help them be more confident, make them less depressed, less likely to do terrible things to themselves. Like that for me, that's why I was always passionate about the Out Foundation, because they're saving lives, not for,
Mm-hmm.
some political agenda or however you want to view it. It's just like they're taking young people and getting them into fitness, and you're going to be hard pressed to convince me getting people into fitness is a bad thing for any
Yeah.
reason whatsoever,
And that's the thing, right? It's just making fitness accessible to everyone that wants it, and I think that's why what they're doing is so beautiful, and why I really stand behind their mission so strongly.
Yeah.
It's a
Well, what
really
you're doing
lovely
is
way
beautiful.
to, yeah, it is. And it's a
Thank
really
you.
lovely way to think about like meeting any opposition to that with love and kindness. Like, okay, so if you've got questions about why we need this, or if you're opposed to this, that clearly means that you've never been in a scenario where you needed that safe space, nor have you seen an event happening within your gym where someone was made to feel unsafe. And so that's really lovely. And
And I hope they never do,
I
right?
hope
Like
they never do,
I
right?
hope nobody's ever in that situation. And that's all I want people to understand, right? Like none of what we're doing, and especially with the entire pride movement, is rooted in hate. It's literally the opposite,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the one of the big taglines of pride is love is love.
Mm-hmm.
And what I always tell people is, from my perspective, and I think a lot of people agree, it's easier to love than hate, right? Like who feels worse after giving somebody a hug?
0 people.
Right? But
Yep.
like it takes effort to hate something or someone and to be angry,
It's
right? Like
exhausting.
nobody gets pissed off and then goes for a run. You get pissed off and then you want to take a nap,
Yeah.
right? Like versus like if you're happy and loving and giving that nourishment and encouragement to somebody, you feel better as well. So that's why like I really think like it's easier to love than hate. Just like I think a lot of people could really change a lot of good stuff in their lives if they just kind of remember that.
Yeah.
It's funny, and I appreciate that you're, challenging people and educating people and doing these posts, because it's making me think. And like, I feel like I'm moderately progressive for whatever that's worth. I woke is what the right would call me, but I'm like, I feel like I'm caring, right? And so now I own this affiliate, and so I've been thinking lately, am I doing enough? And I keep seeing this argument, or what people are shouting online is, we don't need to hear about your sexuality. Let's just do fitness. And I don't necessarily disagree with that to this point. Here's what I'm thinking about in the gym is, am I doing enough for that community to make them feel comfortable? Just like when we play music in the gym, am I cutting out the music that has F words in it because I have Christians in the gym that don't want to hear it?
Yeah.
Right. That's a fair point. If I have people that don't want to listen to music that has vulgar language, I should be cutting that out. If I have someone in the gym of, whatever their sexuality is, that is uncomfortable because of the bathroom situation or the way the showers are configured, I should address that. Right? Not because of their sexuality, but because it's the decent thing to do for the human that works out in your gym.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I also think that saying like, I don't want to hear about your sexuality, it takes away from loving a part of who that person is. Have you guys watched Ted Lasso yet?
Oh, dude, I love it so much.
Did you watch
much.
it, Rob? I don't want to like give anything away.
No
we
spoilers.
haven't seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't talk about what you want to talk about, Nikki. It's the best part of the show.
Okay. Well, I will just say that we sometimes have this argument too when we talk about people's ethnicities or the color of their skin. It's like, you can't say that you're blind to that kind of thing, or you can't say that you don't care. Like, oh, okay, you're gay. Like, I really don't give a shit. Like, I do care, because I care about you and I care about the things that make up who you are. And so it's almost passive to be like, oh, I don't really give a shit, like what you do, like whatever. It's like, no, I do give a shit, because I care about the components that make up the person that you are. And if one of those components is, not quite literally like your sexuality, but like the type of relationship you're going to be in, or the type of people you're interested in, or like, how am I going to play wing woman for you when we go out to the bar this weekend? Like, all that matters, because I give a shit about who you are as a person, and that's a part of you. Like, I don't really need to get granular about where you put your dick, but I care that it's a part of what makes you. And I don't think it's fair to look past that stuff.
That's the biggest problem, right? Is people automatically connect sexual orientation and sex.
Yes.
Right? They're two very different things, right?
Totally.
Like, Nikki, if I were to see you and your husband, sorry to admit, I wouldn't be thinking about what you guys do in the bedroom.
That's fair.
Right? Like,
yeah.
just as
we're an old married couple, so it's not that exciting. You know what I mean?
Exciting. It's very vanilla. Very vanilla.
So
but
much
it's
missionary.
Like, I see.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
I see two adults who are married and happy. That's what I expect people to see when they see Joey and I. But for some reason, it goes to sex, and that's just like, that's so weird to me.
It's so weird.
Maybe you're just so hot that it always goes to that. Maybe that's
probably
what it is.
That.
If that would be a burden I could bear, yes, maybe that's what it is. But I think that's really the biggest issue, right? They're automatically linking sexual orientation and sex, and they're just not the same thing.
Well, yeah, I've been seeing tons of pictures, obviously, of Matt and Sammy and her pregnant belly, and she's adorable. I saw her a few weeks ago at semis, and she looks absolutely stunning. Yeah. And nobody goes under those photos and goes, "Quit flaunting your sexuality, Matt." Like, no one does that.
Exactly.
They go, "Oh, it's so beautiful."
Right. No one's like, "I know what you guys did." Like,
right.
I kind of want to now, though, just because I don't want the fittest man on earth mad at me, but you see, like, I saw a picture of Froning and his wife Hillary, and they're beautiful, but nobody does that. They just go, it's a great photo of a loving couple. And that's what I like to see us get to. Whereas I want people looking at Rob and Joey and going, it's a loving couple. They look great. That's it. Simple.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do, but you are out there doing the Lord's work, Rob. I read your book to my son often.
I appreciate that.
Like, it just everything that you're putting out into the world, I feel like is what we need right now. So, like, thank you for doing all the things.
No, thank you. That means a lot. I mean, it can get exhausting sometimes, especially like being so outspoken and having a lot of different variations of comments and messages. But ultimately, like, I do have to remind myself, like, what I'm doing is good. Like, I'm not trying to spread a hateful message. I just want people to get along, and I want us to all be in this fitness space and getting better and supporting each other.
Well,
imagine that.
I appreciate that your sense of humor, and Rob and I often send messages back and forth via DM.
We
making
do,
fun
we
of
do.
people and ripping on stuff. So I absolutely appreciate it. I was actually thinking if you continue on this cut and you get your ab, you should change your screen name to World Single Ab. I think that would be great. What do you think?
World's gayest single ab. I feel like you need to stay on brand.
Something.
Yeah,
you gotta stay
yeah.
on brand, but you know,
World's gayest ab.
I don't know if you could use that because the gay community is known for a lot of abs.
There
Rob.
are a lot
Like,
of abs.
That's actually been my joke forever, is that I couldn't be gay because I'm just never going to be fit enough. Like, there's no way I would ever be fit enough to be part of the gay community. Like, I don't want to work out that much. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's true though. It's true. We'll come up with a better name.
We'll workshop the name. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you sporting that single ab at the games, just walking around Vendor Village.
That's the plan. Yeah, in a crop top, just living life.
Yes. Well, when do you go back into training? Like, when's your next?
So literally the week after the games.
Oh shit!
is when I'm going to be.
Nice.
Well, actually, no. I'll actually be in prep. So I just got invited to compete at the Deadlift World Championships the first weekend of September. That's going to be in Cardiff, Wales.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So heading over there. So I'll actually be starting my prep for that in the next week or so. So kind of coming off this cut, we'll be slowly increasing the calories, but the plan is to keep my body weight around like 275 for the year. I feel like it's a really good spot where I can get stronger and stay fit and really be a better competitor. And then, fingers crossed that the Rogue Invitational invites come across my email. That'll be great. And then I also will be competing at America's Strongest Man in November.
Oh, cool. Where's that going to be?
That's going to be in Orlando, Florida, which is obviously interesting considering the state of Orlando right now. So I'm going to be as gay as fucking possible when I roll
Hell
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Florida has their issues. There's no way around that.
Yeah, no, it's fucking horrible. But we're going to have fun with it. I also think it'd be a great big fuck you to DeSantis if a gay man wins America's Strongest Man in his state.
Do it.
Oh my God, you have
so that's
to
the
win.
Plan. Yeah, that's the plan. That's really what I'm putting all my eggs in the basket for this year, is to win that title.
God.
I'm gonna try to get to Rogue Invitational, so make sure you get your invite to that, because that
I'll talk to Bill and Katie, see what they can do.
There you go.
Like, listen, I don't know if you know, but I'm pretty freaking strong. You're gonna want me at your event.
Yes, you're gonna want me there. I love it. Well, dude, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you both. Yeah, this was fabulous.
Super fun. Sorry we didn't get to meet Joey, who I'm not even sure really exists since I've never met him.
I know. 2 podcasts now without him. Is he real? Just wondering.
You'll just have to wait till August. The all elusive Joey Kearney.
We're gonna meet Joey and Rob's new ab all at the same time. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be a lot of stimulation there.
It will.
I don't know if Ab Kearney and I are gonna be as close as Joey and I, but we'll try.
I think that's the best name, Ab Kearney.
Ab Kearney. I might just make a burner Instagram right now.
It should have its own Instagram page. And every day
Nikki,
the story.
What did you start?
Yeah, what's Ab Kearney doing today? That could be the Instagram post.
It's like a crunch, a Tota bar.
My hamstrings are too tight. I can't reach the bar with my toes.
Oh, we need to work on that.
Yep. Yeah, if you get good at them, you could have 2 abs. So you'd have a little twin brother there. It'd be awesome.
I don't want to get crazy.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, let's not get nuts.
That's a little much.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, Rob. Appreciate it.
Thank you both. I really appreciate it.
Nikki, did you ever tell me why you were so happy today, or was this why?
This was why. I was excited to see you both. Yeah.
All right. Just making sure there wasn't like some big reveal you were going to give me right at the end of the show. So
no.
All right. Good to hear. All right. Well, we're great to see you, Nick. For everyone listening, we appreciate you guys joining, and we will catch you guys next week.